Hello friends around the world, here is a Vietnam news update. At this time, the conditions in Ho Chi Minh City are not good for making my regular videos. I apologize for not being able to bring you new videos, and I promise to make new videos just as soon as possible. The video you are watching is from a few months ago when I briefly stopped to visit Ho Chi Minh's temple. On Tuesday, June 15th, Ho Chi Minh City announced that it has extended its 2-week social distancing period by another 2 weeks under the government's Directive 15, which bans gatherings of 20 people or more in one place and of 10 people or more outside workplaces, schools and hospitals. Starting Sunday, June 20th, Ho Chi Minh City will suspend traditional and taxi services such as Grab, in addition to public buses and interprovincial buses as a preventive measure against the spread of COVID-19. This is part of the city's tougher pandemic prevention measures to cope with rising infections, and is the second time that passenger transport services in Ho Chi Minh City have been forced to stop operations since the COVID-19 pandemic hit Vietnam early last year. People are required to stay at home and only go out when necessary. Now we will discuss the travel situation in Vietnam. After almost 3 months without domestic coronavirus infections, Vietnam is now seeing a large number of new infections each day. To keep the risk of further spreading as low as possible, the Vietnamese government has virtually sealed off the country from the outside world, which also affects the use of tourist and business visas. Vietnam was relatively quick with implementing rules against the coronavirus, but since May 2021 the country is seeing larger-scale outbreaks. Currently, 10,742 infections have been reported and 62 deaths have been confirmed as a result of the virus. This makes Vietnam one of the countries that has managed the coronavirus outbreak the best, even if infections have been rapidly rising by Vietnamese standards the past few weeks. The measures taken by the government are not just aimed at stopping the spread of the virus within national borders, but also to stop infected people from entering Vietnam. In general, foreigners cannot travel to Vietnam until further notice. Persons with Vietnamese nationality are still allowed in, however. Exceptions are also made for persons that want to enter the country to offer medical or other specialized help, and there is also an exception in place for experts, business managers and highly skilled workers, which are necessary to keep the Vietnamese economy running or get it back on its feet. These persons must acquire their visa through their Vietnamese business partner, and not through the embassy or consulate. Travelers that are allowed to enter must have a medical certificate from a doctor which states that they do not have coronavirus symptoms and tested negative for COVID-19. They must present this statement at the passport check, and spend 21 days in quarantine at a designated location in Vietnam on arrival, usually a mandated hotel or a government-established quarantine facility. During this time, they will be tested for coronavirus 3 times. If all tests are negative, they can spend the next 7 days in self-isolation, where they will be tested twice again. Travelers will have to pay for the cost of the quarantine and the tests themselves. An exception to the quarantine rule is in place for diplomats, holders of service passports and business travelers, business managers and highly skilled workers and their families provided they are staying in the country for less than 14 days. However, they must undergo a PCR test 3 to 5 days before arrival in Vietnam, at a testing facility recognized by the Vietnamese government. In Vietnam, they must also regularly take a PCR test. Additionally, they are required to have health insurance which covers health costs abroad, or be able to provide a guarantee from their company that it will cover any coronavirus-related costs. Is it still possible to apply for a visa? Contrary to some reports, applying for a Vietnamese visa is still possible. However, applications are only processed once the travel ban is lifted. Keep in mind that it is not yet known when this will be, and if additional requirements will be set to traveling with a Vietnam visa. When is it safe to travel to Vietnam again? This is currently not known. Check in regularly with your travel agency or airline for the latest updates. It is expected that traveling to Vietnam will be discouraged for several more months. Due to the rising infection numbers since the beginning of May, many provinces have banned parties, events, gatherings and religious meetings, and have closed schools, catering facilities, and other non-essential services. In provinces with particularly high infection rates, strict lockdowns apply. Throughout the country, wearing masks in public places is mandatory, and restaurants only have takeaway service. Coronavirus tests are being performed in public places, which are mandatory. Violations of these hygiene regulations can result in heavy fines. Coronavirus has resulted in a large amount of financial damages for travelers, travel agencies, tour operators and insurance companies. In some cases, you might be successful in claiming damages, but this will most certainly not always be the case. The Immigration Service of Vietnam also does not refund the visa costs which have already been made by the traveler, even if they cannot make use of the visa due to the coronavirus. Some visa experts have recently said that they expect Vietnam to open up tourism to vaccinated foreigners in the very late months of 2021. The government feels that they will have a majority of the population vaccinated by that time. Ho Chi Minh City on June 19 began the fourth phase of its COVID vaccination drive at the Saigon High-Tech Park in Thu Duc City. It is being carried out at 1,000 sites until July 5. Vietnam's Deputy Minister of Health said workers at industrial parks and export processing zones are prioritized to ensure the smooth operation of supply chains. A representative of the Thu Duc City Medical Center said 400 to 500 workers at the Saigon High-Tech Park would be vaccinated on the first day. A total of 836,000 AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine doses out of the nearly 1 million doses donated by the Japanese government to Vietnam are being used. The city has deployed 1,032 medical teams with at least 3 medical workers each for the campaign. Thank you for watching this Vietnam news update. Please subscribe to this channel to hear the latest information as it becomes available. Until next time, goodbye and please stay safe wherever you are.